Hello, brothers and sisters. It's your brother Alejandro Ibrahim, your host and founder of KYP, coming to you with another round of conscious information. I know it's been a while. I've been in college, just finished up my finals, so now I'm out for the summer. So I'm coming back with some new content. We're gonna come back a little bit harder and stronger, more new content, more guests, trying to spread the consciousness a little bit more, bringing different perspectives of groups and ideas, and try to get different people on the platform and show. I want to thank you guys, also my viewers and supporters, for continuing to listen to the episodes, and thank you very much, everybody, for continuing to watch and see the content. So I know it's a little bit behind due. I should have talked about this probably when it did happen, but again, I'm busy. But I'll just start off the summer with this. First, we're gonna talk about really what Kamala Harris and Tim Scott said, that America isn't a racist country. The first thing was that when Tim Scott said it, it doesn't surprise me when that brother says it. It didn't surprise me when he said it because you know Tim Scott is a Republican. He's the only black Republican senator in the United States of America. You can clearly see that they using this brother to show that they have some type of diversity if it does exist in the Republican Party. So it doesn't shock me that they said, "Oh, Tim Scott said this." It doesn't shock me at all. We know why they put him up there to even give the rebuttal to the address that Joe Biden gave. We know why they did that, and they did that because he was a black man. Number one, and number two, they also want to show that, hey, this police brutality bill going through. He's trying to put together. They also want to show what he's thinking probably. So that's why they put him up there. But what shocked me was the Kamala Harris rebuttal. And it wasn't surprising that she said that, because we already know what's going on with that, brothers and sisters. We already know that, even though she's said to be a black lady in the White House vice president, we know the agenda of how they put black people in high positions of power to appease us. But it's the fact that when she said it, people didn't really hop on it. And I wondered why. People was always hopping on Tim Scott. You understand? People been hopping on Tim Scott for a long time. But as soon as Kamala Harris said, people didn't hop on it. And I think that's due to the fact that we see the system. We see her in the position of higher power, being the first, you know, black female vice president, and we say, oh, we can't hold her accountable. That's the first thing we gotta do. We gotta understand, family. We gotta hold all of our black leaders accountable. But let me dissect really what they're saying and how they did this. First of all, this was coming. All last summer we was out there, brothers and sisters was out there protesting or Black Lives Matter, all that. We know what Black Lives Matter about. We know that's not our organization. We've seen the research. We see what they're doing with the money. But clearly, what we are seeing again is that with all these efforts, America trying to so-called overcome racism, they think also with the George Floyd decision over Derek Chauvin, they think now that America's not racist anymore. The biggest weapon, one of the biggest weapons of white supremacy, is appeasement. They want us to believe that, oh, we'll give you a crumb here or there, it's over, it's not that big of a deal. Let's dissect white supremacy real quick, family. White supremacy is about attacking all black people, and they will use black people to do that. They will have black leaders who make you feel that somehow you've overcome this racism, and now they say racism don't exist no more. Oh, we had a black male president, and we have a black female vice president. Oh, racism don't exist no more. Am I supposed to accept that? That's the biggest problem that we have. We got to be able to understand and see the setup that does exist, and clearly, we're seeing it. So now that America's not a racist country anymore, and two of the highest elected black people in this country, okay, again, Tim Scott, U.S. United States Senator, Kamala Harris, Vice President of the United States, both said racism doesn't exist. What do you think is gonna happen? This is this is what they did with reparations too. They did the same thing when Mitch McConnell said, "Oh, reparations isn't needed because we've had a black male president." Watch who you are entertaining, family. Watch what was going on, family. This is clearly what happens. Black people in positions of higher power not exercising the truth because they have technically been compromised. Just to be real. Black not saying all black leaders in higher power are compromised. Because if you look at sisters like ooh, excuse me, but the sister in California, um I forgot her name, family. Please forgive me for this one. But the Congress lady down there, I don't know, I had a brain freeze real quick. But she's very strong. She's been very strong in the past. Now I don't agree with everything she's done, but she was very big back in the '90s for black people. She was actually very tight with Khalid Muhammad. Um, you know, very strong. She actually helped black. You know, she was very pro-black back in the day. So I'm not gonna say all elected officials, but I will say that a good percentage, maybe. I mean, with her, she's probably the only one I won't say was fully compromised. But I'll say about all of them as compromised, in the sense that they see now this position of power and they forget about the rest of the community. See, one thing we gotta learn as black people, especially us young ones who like me, 19 years old, is that um we gotta groom leaders in in the community, who are gonna take over and be successful and who gonna work for the community, not for the lie they want us to all believe. And that's what we're failing to do. You have to groom a leader. Understand? You have to make it to where this environment produces a leader. We have to make it to where we can produce Malcolms, we can produce MLKs, and we can produce Marcus Garveys. But we can't do that if the community ain't fixed. So that's why we gotta do it. Tim Scott has no loyalty to the black community at all. And neither does Kamala Harris. Because first of all, the community didn't really pick him. The Republican Party, they backed Tim Scott because, you just be real, he was a black man. The Democratic Party backed Kamala Harris because she's said to be a black woman. She's a black woman. And they backed her. They backed her and they said, hey, this is what you're gonna do. We're gonna back you to be vice president. And they already understand the farce that we believe that black people in high places achieving something means that they're for us. When clearly that doesn't mean it. Black people we have over 10,000 elected black officials, about 10,000. Yet still the community still look the way it does. But if you look at other ethnic groups, some of them barely have any elected officials. Asian community don't even have that many, but they still booming, and they've been booming since back in the day. In California, you look at the Koreans; they were owning businesses, they were maintaining their own community because they're community first. We can have black leaders in office. At the end of the day, that's just gonna have to happen. But if we really want serious, effective black leaders who are gonna help produce black families, black black belief systems and sense of community and things that help black people and hold and represent us in a firm, powerful way, we're gonna need to pick these leaders. We didn't pick Kamala Harris and we didn't pick Tim Scott. Therefore, they have no obligation to our community. So a lot of us can't be upset when they make comments like this. I wasn't upset because I already knew what was gonna happen. I already knew that we didn't pick these leaders and that they were going to say what they wanted to say. Honestly, it's 2021, brothers and sisters. Black people like that, saying comments like that, do not shock me. To me, it's right to happen. Because this is what you get when you don't properly select your leaders. We got to make a community where we groom leaders to be what they want. We're going to say, hey, these young men right here, we're going to groom to be the leader of the black community. These young sisters right here, we're going to groom to be the leaders in the black community. And we also got to keep in mind that leaders don't always have to be in positions of power. You can be a leader in the community just because of what you say and the influence you have. You don't have to be rich. It can be the truth that you say. Most of us keep on looking to a black billionaire or a black man who run an office as a leader. Many community leaders. Malcolm X wasn't rich. By the time he died, he barely had any money to his name. The brother barely had $1 to his name, apparently. He was broke. But he was such an effective and firm leader. He gained the trust of the people, and what he was saying was true, that people followed him. People stayed with him even despite when he left the Nation of Islam. Same thing with Khalid Muhammad. He was a strong leader. He's a strong leader. Even when he left Nation of Islam, he still was able to rebuild a new Black Panther Party, and brothers and sisters were still following with him. And he didn't feed into this divisive, oh, I'm this, that, third. He had brothers from the Hebrew Israelite nation, the Moorish community, some others from Nation of Islam, people practice African spirit, African religious systems, all types. That's what we call. That's why I like him. He's a leader. Same thing with Marcus Garvey. Those are leaders. But we have this dumbfounded, outdated narrative that we have to have some black person in position of power, somebody who earns overwhelming influence with money. You can be a leader in your community right now. Fred Hampton. I admire him mainly because of one of his major things. That brother was 21 years old and was a leader. 21 years old. I'm 19. He's 2 years older than me when he died. Literally, he was 21 when he died. It blows my mind. So when he was 19, he was still out there organizing. That's shocking to me, because despite his age, he was still able to gain influence over people who were probably 20, 30 years older than him. He was still able to gain their support. So when people talk about age don't matter. You can always be a leader. But who wants to be a black leader in the black community? Who does? We gotta start making black leaders. The young brothers out here, they not out here trying to be leaders, a lot of them. These brothers out here, they too afraid because they done seen the effects of the killing of black male leadership. We gotta be leaders out here, black men. So we gotta do better in terms of leadership. We gotta pick our leaders, we gotta vet them, and we gotta create an environment where we can have them. We gotta teach these guys to be loyal to the community. Kamala Harris, Tim Scott, I would say again, had no loyalty to the community because they can say whatever they want. And it's good that they did say it to all these black people out here who think we're making progress. They can't even admit that this government is racist. They still think that what they not doing is racist. And there's a lot of other hand racism we're going to talk about this summer that's going on. But I'm going to just leave y'all with this. If we don't create leaders who have obligations to the community, this will continue. I want to thank y'all for listening to me today. Hope y'all do well. We're coming out with more content. We're going to come out strong this summer and going for the rest of the year. Got a lot of things we're going to talk about. Going to have some different guests on. So stay tuned, family. Thank you. Take care.